Hello, hello. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. It depends on your location and at the time you're watching this video. A very special greeting to you. I just want to bring you a very short one. 7 things that unsuccessful men do in their free time. 7 things that unsuccessful men do in their free time. The Bible says, by their fruit we shall know them. So by the time you understand these 7 things, you are going to classify yourself whether you are a successful person or unsuccessful. Perhaps whether you're going to be successful or you're going to be unsuccessful depends on where you fall within these 7 items. And number 6, I bet you, will amaze you. Number 6 will amaze you. You don't have to miss it for any reason. The 7 things that you got to know about unsuccessful people, the 7 things that unsuccessful people do. Anybody you know that is doing any of these 7 things, now just know that this person is unsuccessful. There is no argument about it. That is how you are going to know them. So you're going to know them by these 7 items I'm going to list out. All right, I'm going to be very succinct, brief with this video. I don't want to waste more than 10 minutes in listing out these 7 things that unsuccessful people do in their free time. Number 1 is that they waste time. Unsuccessful people waste time. Now, Benjamin Franklin says, lost time is never found again. Lost time is never found again. Unsuccessful people waste time. They waste time in relationship. They waste time in business. They waste time in everything they do. They don't have the capacity to manage their time and be fast with their synchronizations. No, they don't synchronize their ideas and work fast. Each time you see them, they're going to be very late in everything they do. And one of the way they waste time, you can say they while away time in our normal Nigerian language. They stay idle and waste the time. For example, you see them tonight. It's going to be a fun night. Okay, there's nothing bad when you go and come back. You go and sit down and watch your football. But in the African style, we may not have the whole time. Now, these men, you see them today, Monday evening by 3. They are somewhere drinking, whining, eating. Tomorrow evening, you are seeing them afternoon, morning. I went to somewhere very early in the morning. I just saw one guy. All of us came to eat. We came to eat that early morning. That was around 9 somewhere. And by that early morning, he's already drinking beer. Ask him where he's going to. I look at his legs and I look at his feet, what he was wearing. So unsuccessful people waste time. Number 2, they lack curiosity. They lack curiosity. Unsuccessful people are not curious within themselves. They are just okay by themselves. There is this song we used to sing back days. I don't know about tomorrow. I just live from day to day. So they are not curious. Whatever gonna be is gonna be. I don't know how to say that in Spanish. I've forgotten it. I'm trying to recall my memory on that. So there is no curious. David say in Psalm 69, verse 9, he say, the zeal of your house has eaten me up. It has consumed me. And the shame of those who hate you has fallen on me. Now I'm looking at the zeal of those. They say the zeal of the house of the Lord has eaten me up. So he always have the enthusiasm, the curiosity to move into the house of God oftentimes. Now the unsuccessful people have no curiosity. There is no zeal to do anything. They take their life the way it goes. Whatever will be is gonna be. So you know them as unsuccessful people. That's number 2. Then number 3 is that they neglect their health. Why they eat, why they drink, why they whine, why they do whatever they want to do, they neglect their health. That is it about unsuccessful people. 7 things you must know. And immediately you see any of these things, of this behavior in them, you know that these people are going to be unsuccessful. They don't take their health serious. They neglect their health. And sometimes, I'm sorry to say, I don't want to say something that will cause any chaos here. But look at several things we have had over time on social media. Just take your mind and go back in Nigerian social media platform. All successful people, and you always see that it gets too late when their health has gone too bad, and you can't just imagine what will happen next. They never had time for their health. All successful men. Then number four is that they resist. No, number four is that they avoid networking, no social life. They avoid networking. And now, when I say networking here, I'm talking about social network. Social network. I don't talk about where you sit down, drink, wine, unwind, or where you sit down and smoke and talk about heaps and acts of bitches. No, that's not what I'm saying here. I'm talking about having men of intellectual capacity, having a very sound network of people whom you shall gather and sit with, reason and discuss business ideas. Men that are unsuccessful have no social network. You don't understand the impact of social network until it helps you. I recall one of my friends back days in Port Harcourt. He came while I was doing a seminar for a program. Now, I encourage some people to go back to their communities and tell their people that this is what they can do. So he had a friend, I think he's a brother of his, either from his states, and they were also in the same church. So he has been a friend of his. You always go to him to borrow money. And then he told the man that he has learned this skill. He's now an expert. The man laughed and asked him to do it in his house. And then from there, the man saw that he did it successfully and connected him to somebody that connected him. And today, he is an integral part of his state government project. So social network is very important. Poor or unsuccessful people don't have any social network. They avoid it. They think they can do it on their own alone. That's one of the keys and ways you can know unsuccessful people. Then number five is that they resist change. They resist change. Men that are unsuccessful resist change. I know I'm trying to use my Igbo language here. Or when a case mayor, it gets us with the do-arm. There is a way with the do-arm. So if you want to introduce transformation or change in the system, they will resist it. And whether in the office, they will resist it. If you want to teach them a new formula to solve a mathematical equation, they will resist it. I remember when computer came in new in Nigeria way back in early 2000, 1999. There was a lot of computers in Port Harcourt. And people who knew him say he went round to banks. He was trying to let them to use computer in Nigeria, and they say, why should we use computers? Our manual, our book is there. Our journals are there. So we don't need computer for everything. He tried to explain to them, and this is how they do it in the US. And they say they resisted him. He keep on marketing and marketing. By the time we also came into the industry, they will point to us and say, Laro Computer used to be here. And we saw the building, Laro Computers. But I didn't see the man. I never knew the man. But that's the story we had. So people will resist change. And such people are unsuccessful. If you come to church, you will always see them. They go with that behavior of as it was in the beginning, is now and forever. That's just them. So they don't want a new move. They don't want you to bring it. If you bring it, they will stand against it and stamp it out. All successful people resist change. Now, the number 6 is very important, and I want you to listen keenly on this number 6. Very important about unsuccessful people. The 6th thing about unsuccessful people is that they don't set goals. We've talked about goals here, the time we discussed dreams and vision analysis. They don't set goals. However it goes, they go. Whatever comes their way, they're okay with it. They can move on left, right, in every direction. Whatever they see, that's just where they put their head. So unsuccessful people don't set goals. People that are not successful in life do not set goals. That's the number 16, and it's very amazing how they live their life. So whatever comes their way, they accept. They wake up in the morning, they rush to their offices, and that is when they remember that there is a place they want to go. Maybe from January to June, that's when they remember that they needed to buy a car for the office use. So there is no goal, there is no aspiration. And perhaps forgive me to add that they don't have aspirations. People that are unsuccessful in life do not set goals. And finally, they ignore self-reflection. They ignore self-reflection. Unsuccessful people ignore self-reflection. Very important. You just have to understand that. So they ignore self-reflection. What does that mean? That means that they don't take their time to think about their experiences. Let's say this is already July. So from January to July, what has happened? How far have you gone in your goals and aspirations, in your dreams and visions? Now, they don't take the time to reflect. So they just believe that January to December is another Christmas. January to another December is another New Year. So they move in line with that. No goals at all. And there is no self-reflection. They never sat down to reflect on what they have achieved, their success or their failure, to know where to make amendments. That is about unsuccessful men. I told you that there are 7 things about them. So before I drop, because I've already exhausted it, I want everybody, every one of you, I know you people have program this evening. There is a huge match coming. Let me recap 7 things about unsuccessful people. 1, they waste time. 2, they neglect their health. 3, they lack curiosity. 4, they avoid networking. 5, they resist change. 6, they don't set goals. And number 7, no self-reflection. They ignore it. They ignore self-reflection. This is it about unsuccessful people. So with this, you can know about yourself, and this will tell you where you're going from now. And if you fall into these categories, you still have time to make amendments. Thank you. Have a blissful night rest. God bless you so much.